Good afternoon, Magumo. When we were at the Elaite community, what we saw was just unbelievable. We saw a truck that broke down on the road and then spent over 3 weeks, according to residents in that particular community. They've been looking for ways to move the truck. Now, these trucks are heavy loaded with goods, and it's just been so difficult for them to move away from that particular road. And then in the night, another truck was driving. That was 4 days prior to Thursday when we went to Elaite. And that particular truck ran into that other truck that was already broken down. And this particular one was a truck filled with coal. And it was just an eyesore. When we went there on Thursday morning, 2 trucks broke down. And another truck, in the process of trying to avoid those trucks that were already broken down, and the other one that ran into the first one, in the process of maneuvering, that particular one tilted, almost falling down. And then they had to use roots. They got roots, and then they held it. And it was just not funny. So although we did not obstruct movement of vehicles as passers-by, then those who were using the road transport were able to find their way through those trucks. But of course, when we got there, residents had raised the alarm early on Thursday morning that this was a situation of things. They had reached out to agencies. The motor agency in the state had said they wanted to bring the vehicle to tow those trucks away from the road so that it would not obstruct the movement of persons. But they had issues as one of the vehicles had gone somewhere else to tow vehicles, so they had to wait. The one that was supposed to come, I think all the way from Obajana it took a while. So by the time we were done speaking with the community, even one of the truck drivers, his particular truck, the yellow truck, if we could show some of the visuals, that particular truck was the one that the 18-seater bus ran into this morning, where 3 persons have been confirmed dead by the state FRSC, and they told us that just shortly before we came live that the 8 persons were taken to the hospital, but the hospital management is refusing to give them attention, and they're taking them now to the Federal Medical Center. And this is something that could have been avoided if you would look closely at the visuals of my reporting earlier. I actually interacted with the FRSC officials right there in my presence. They called some of their colleagues who were assigned to that particular position in the Elaite community to come there and do their job. So it's not as if government is not responding, but the persons, who were asked to be at that particular point, the outpost FRSC officials who were supposed to be doing their job, were not doing their job. And I reached out to the state FRSC Commandant Tenimu, and he told me that his men are doing all the camp. The major challenge they have right now is the goods, and some of the loot they have to offload the goods off the truck before they'll be able to lift the truck. So that particular yellow truck that was tilting, that one is already falling to the ground. But while we reached out to them, they actually came to the scene. They were able to tow most of the trucks away. It was just that particular yellow truck that was tilting. It was that particular one that was killed just by the roadside. And that was the one, that the 18-seater bus, just ran into. They were coming all the way from Enugu State, heading towards Abuja before that tragedy happened earlier today.
Mona, yeah, thank you. While you were speaking, we were actually playing videos from that report so we could see everything just as you were explaining it, and it was indeed 100% like you told. But looking back at your report and today's tragedy, what lessons can be drawn about road safety and government responsiveness? Because I know that the authorities actually know about this since after your report. So what can be drawn about road safety and government's responsiveness in this report?
Yes, 2 things that can be drawn from this is if you're assigned to a particular job, do it properly. The road safety officials, even prior to now, I have reported that the state government has put in measures to ensure road safety. And, they also spoke to one of the road safety officials before now who told us that they had put all of their operatives at particular points. So those who were in charge of that particular location, because these persons are distributed all across the state, the personnel. So those who were supposed to do their job did not do their job. And I'll point clearly, the particular FRSC officials I was actually communicating with were calling on his colleague that he needs to man up, because prior to my coming to report, they had gotten reports. So it was more of like, why are you not doing your job? You've been asked to do your job. So that's one, diligence to duty. And the second one, Nazine, is the availability of infrastructure for these persons to do their job. Because if there were more vehicles to tow trucks away, I think that's the major problem. The lack of infrastructure on that particular front often delayed the ability of these officials to actually do their job. I must commend the local vigilante. They were there right from when the first truck, broke down, trying to ensure that people who are coming, most especially at night, because of the issue of visibility, they will not be able to see that a truck is broken down. And if they're coming with high speed, for the second truck driver who I spoke with, he fell asleep, and that was why he ran into the truck that was in front of him. And I mean, we knew that this was going to happen if something was not done. And it's just so sad, Mazina, I'm almost in fear that it's always when there is a casualty, that's when we are running helter-skelter to ensure that we do what we're supposed to do. Government is paying you salaries to do your job. Be at your duty first, so that when there is an emergency, you can actually do the needful and just do what you're being paid to do. And it's just so sad that people who are probably traveling home for Christmas or just trying to go about their day-to-day activities, maybe to resume work later tomorrow in Abuja, have just become casualties of negligence. That is what has happened this morning. Just utter negligence, and it's unacceptable.
Mona Balagbogbo, I want to say thank you very much for your stellar reporting, and of course for bringing us details from this morning as well. Thank you, Mona.